I've continued to add more features today with a bunch of new filters today, 5 to be precise, as well as a number of new columns in the screener table as well, so which you can either access through the columns drop downs or by default. Number of them are loaded now. I've increased the amount that are loaded by default. As imagine lots of people just won't even realize that they're there. So basically today I added the weeks in stage filter. I've added the percent change by week, which is this column here. So just undo that. I've added the percent to the 10-week moving average. So it's the distance above and below the 10-week moving average. And the same with the 30-week moving average and the distance to the 40-week moving average. So we can use all sorts of combinations with the distances from the various moving averages in order to tighten up what we're looking for. So I think there's some really good additional quality filters. So I'll just go through the filters one by one so you can see what they are. So the weeks in stage filter I've added in the middle up here, along with obviously the normal, all the stage filters that we got at the moment. So within the same vicinity. I couldn't get it on this line here because as the screen gets scrolled down, it starts to knock things over in an awkward way, and I've got to redesign the entire filter section now that we're getting more and more. There's numerous more that are going to be added in the next couple of weeks as well. So just wanted to, obviously I'm going to need to do something with that. So if we go into the weeks in stage filter here, you can see there's two categories. So you've got the since stage 2A category here. So which we can do, so this covers all of the stocks, how many weeks they've been in stage 2, or they may have dropped back out into stage 2, into a base in stage 3 or even a stage 1 type neutral period, but still since they're stage 2A, so it hasn't moved from stage 2A and then hit another 4A basically at that point. So earliest ones within equal to 1 or 2 weeks. So you see we drop that down, we've immediately got only 196 results. So we'll click on a couple of these, you'll see a couple of weeks in stage 2 here. It's in the second week, and this one again, apps second week since it broke out into stage 2. So a really easy way to find new moves into stage 2. So as well as you can do a greater than or equals to, you can go all the way up to your like quarterly, like half a year, 6 months through there, 3/4 or less than a year in stage 2. So, and you can find stocks that have been in stage 2 for more than a year. So for example, greater than or equal to 52 weeks here. So PLTR is one of the leading ones in that. So if you look at that, obviously it's been in stage 2 for over 2 years now, I think it is at the moment. So which we can actually now see in the table as well. So if you scroll along the table here, actually you can see the weeks since stage 2A column here. So you can see PLTR, which is this first one here, so has been in stage 2A since for 105 weeks currently. So you can see that in that column now. So weeks since stage 2A and weeks since 4A appears when a stock has been in stage 4 and hasn't moved back to stage 2 yet. So for example, if I switch this around by market cap, actually I need to get rid of that first. So we switch this back by market cap, you'll see we've got a number of stocks starting to appearing here. So 3 weeks, so that's Nvidia there. So 3 weeks ago it made a stage 4 breakdown, but it's since reversed back up again. You can see it's in stage 1 in stage 3 again. So basically it's in a sort of spring situation at the moment, but it's only been 3 weeks since that 4A and it hasn't yet moved back to 2 again. So these two columns are useful for seeing that kind of info. So we'll reset this again. So we go back to the weeks in stage over here, just show you the other options. You've got since 4A as well. So this can be useful also for finding spring type events. So if you've got a move into 4A in the last couple of weeks, you can see here, and then it's reversed back into stage 1. So if I just change this to stage 1 or stage 3, then if we flick for a couple of these, you'll see they're making spring type events through here. So it's had a failed stage 4 breakdown attempt, and then it's sprung back up again. So it's another way to find springs, and from this I've added a couple of presets up here. So we've got the spring number 1, which is the failed reversal in the last 4 weeks, and the spring number 2, failed stage 4 reversal, that's in the same week. So basically it's just dipped down below the stage 4 level, and then it's come back above it again. So number 2 is the same week, and the spring number 1 is within we've done the last 4 weeks. Again, this is just a starting scan. You can once again use the presets here, and you can take it back down to 2 weeks, you can take it up to 6 weeks, etc. So you can see with 4 weeks we've got 11 results with a weekly closing range in the upper quarter of the bar. We've got a positive change, average volume over 1.5 million for the week. So if we took it down to 2 weeks, that drops off to 7, etc. And as you start to move up, you get more and more. So it's just a starting scan. We're excluding all of stage 4, so anything that's moved back to a 1 or a 2 again. So we've got get a couple of 2s in there even with that scan at the moment. So that's how you can use the weeks since stage 2 breakout or since the stage 4 change. So you'll only see stage 2 stocks with these top ones, and you'll only see stage 4 stocks with these kind of ones, except obviously you will get 1 and 3 in both of them. So that's the weeks in stage. Percent change is another one I've added today, relatively straightforward. It just shows the percentage change column here. So if you want to see positive changes, so you can see we're down to 2887 for the week last week, and negative changes 2374. So you can just use that as a quality filter when you're going through just either positive or negative change, or if you want to see specifics, you want greater than 10% move for the week. So you can see here starting off at 10%, and then we'll see up to the highest point here. So you can change that. You only want to see anything that was above 2% or more, etc, etc. So I haven't done any ranges, so potentially could add some ranges to that as well, but at the moment for me it's really about the quality filtering of just want to see positive change, so or negative change when you're using it with other combinations. So I thought that would be useful. I've added a few extra options in the ATR percent, so we've now got the less than and equal to versions for the lower part, so that we've got those as well. We've got, so these 3 filters at the end are the distances from the various moving averages. So this is the percentage from the 10-week moving average. So again, I've added this in the table. So if we scroll along here, we've got the 10-week moving average, we've got the percentage to the 10-week moving average here. So you can see at the moment with these really obviously strong stocks that are miles above their various moving averages here. So they're basically 76. It's 76% drop in order to get back to the 10-week moving average level it would need, and a 40% drop to get back to the 10-week moving average. So those are extremely extended. Again, if we flip this around by market cap quickly, you'll see some of start with the larger stocks, give us a better idea of what's going on with some of these. So Apple, for example, is 2% drop in order to get to its 10-week moving average at the moment, and it would need to drop just over 5% in order to get to its 30-week moving average, and almost 8% to get to its 40-week moving average at the moment. So these could be useful again for quality filtering. So I've added a bunch of options with these, so you can either look for something that's below its moving average. So you've got the distance to the 10-week moving average, for example, here. So you wanted to find something that was tight to the 10-week moving average, just underneath it. You're going to tend to get stage 2. If we minus on those, and you're also going to obviously get the other stages. So you might want to add other quality filters. So you just want to add some stage 2s in there. So because it's below the moving average, generally only going to use the minus values in these, so you won't need the 2A, the 2 or the 2B for that. You'll need the 2 minus or the 2B minus, and then you'll see with these, if we come into here, so between 1 and 2% from the 10-week moving average is what we get with these ones. So if I just click into a couple of these, for example, you can see how tight that is to the moving average. So these are above, so that was positive, they're negative changes. Let's change that to positive change, for example, let's give it a close in the upper quarter of the bar, let's give it some decent average volume. So again, these are the quality filters you want to obviously start to use. Relative strength, you want to order it by the SATA score, etc. So if you wanted to get rid of the weak SATA scores, then you would obviously just look at the strong SATA scores, and again we've only got one from that in terms of 2, which is 88. So you can see that's sitting just underneath its 10-week moving average there. So Mags was as well, Polaris, WBD, so a few of these. So if I change this out a bit, spread it out a bit to say 5%, so you can see here we've got a few others just sitting underneath the 10-week moving average in stage 2 minus here. So that's one way that you can use that. You can obviously do combinations with these. So you want ones that are close to, so you can use the within to get above or below. So close to their 2% of their 10-week moving average, and they're within 5% of their 30-week moving average, and you might still even want them to be within 10% of their 40-week moving average as well. So that's only still got you 532 results there, so we can tighten that up even further. You start to push that down a bit, so within 3%, within 2%. So start to get rid of these. You start to use some quality controls, get rid of the average volume, the weekly closing range, whether it's had a positive change for the week. Now we're down to just 21 stocks now. SATA score that is strong. So we've only got a couple in here. So that one is not a dead stock, and this one, junk bonds ETF, just moving above that 10-week moving average at the moment, but tight within there. So basically probably want to spread these out a bit to start to get some more results. Obviously you get too tight, start to obviously only get a few results. So always start with the broader measures and then start to put more filters on and start to bring it down. So it's ways that you can use those to obviously pick things that are particularly close to moving averages. You might want to be, it's in early stage 2, and you might want to be a certain distance from the stage 2 breakout, for example. So if we did let's do a stage 2 transition. Let me get rid of the 2A on that though. So let's not do the stage change. I just wanted to get the extra filters on this. So if we get rid of stage 2A and just have stage 2 at the moment, maybe a 2 minus as well. So you can see we've got 203 stocks at the moment. So relative, and then we want it to be weeks in stage, so less than 6 weeks. So we've got 40 stocks in the early part of stage 2 at the moment. So what we can do with this is we want them to be within 10% of the moving average. So have a click on a couple of these. You can see it's within NLY here. You can see they're close, still relatively close to the 10-week moving average. So that's another way that you can use the filter. 10% is probably a bit much, so we drop it down to 5%. You're going to get a few results then. So much tighter into the moving average here. So that's one way that you could obviously use it in terms of using the time it's been in the stage in order to get the earlier part of stage 2, the distance from the various moving averages. So we could, might be other things we can do with that percent change to the stage 4 level as well as the trailing stop on that. So there's lots of different ways that you could use it. So they're just a few new filters that I've added today. Like I said, there's going to be a bunch more, but just give you some additional ways to obviously add some extra refinement to your scans. So hopefully you like them. And as I said, there's always got the columns as well, which you can turn off in this section or turn on if there's a few more in there as well that you can look at. But obviously got a fair few of those turned on at the moment to just make it easy for everyone to know that they exist. Okay, I think that'll do. All right, I'll see you on the next one.